Hey team, it's time for a joyride. It's another beautiful day here in Tampa Bay, and we're gonna go head out to Brandon, get some of that sweet ethanol-free juice for the Ducati, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the GoPro Hero 8 Black. The GoPro Hero 8, obviously some vloggers have 7s and 6s. They want to know if they should upgrade, and I think there are some great content creators out there like Mick Bergsma and others that really answer a lot of comparison questions out there. But what I want to do is just enjoy a joyride and talk to everybody about what it's like having one. So let's get started. Alright folks, let's talk a little bit about the GoPro Hero 8 and if you should be considering upgrading. Well, we cut right through a little bit of downtown and Channelside. Oh, the weather is great. So the GoPro Hero 8 Black, I think you should consider what you plan on using it for. Really, it's kind of a significant investment, especially for those out there who already have a pretty good action camera, because these things are not cheap. So you have to consider, is this, much like myself, is this just going to be a passion project that you're sinking a lot of energy into because you find it fun? Now that is pretty cool, those uniballs. So is it something you plan on making it a hobby? Is it a business-driven idea? Those, I think, are some things to consider, since a decent amount of people want to use it to vlog, whether or not it's for personal memories they want to make. Is it an upgrade from a camera that they already have? And I think when one starts thinking about a GoPro Hero 8, I think it should first start with what exactly, okay, this is interesting, what exactly do you plan on doing with the Hero 8? After that, I think you need to consider the vlogging aspect. I think there are a lot of pros in having a GoPro and going with that brand. One, I think their subscription service makes a lot of sense if you're going to be replacing them, putting them in harm's way, doing a lot of cool things. There are a lot of people out there who do some cool stuff, surfing with it. They fly gliders and skydive, and I think the peace of mind you get from that subscription service kind of steers them towards the GoPro. So with that being said, the first thing you should consider is what exactly you wanted to do it for. After you kind of consider exactly the reasons for looking at a GoPro Hero 8, it goes without saying that you might want to look at the price. Is it worth it to have something shiny and new for vlogging that justifies the $399 price tag? Because you can get Hero 7 Blacks brand new for $329 from GoPro, and a few other places that will let them go for a little bit cheaper than that. So $400 is and I say that because it's really just the entry fee. That gets into the next topic. The cameras themselves, they're pretty expensive. But you are not just going to be picking up the camera. That is definitely not the case when picking up an action camera. When picking up an action camera, you have to consider mounts, extra batteries, screen protectors. Depending on the type of shooting you're doing, are you going to want polarizing lens caps? Do you want a clip mount for it to be put onto your helmet? All those things slowly over time add up to where the cost to get in the game to play, you're thinking $329 or $399. That's doable. But once you start to pick up everything you're going to need to vlog and make sure you're able to vlog more than 20 minutes of footage out there, you start to get closer to $1,000. So I think that's something that everybody should at least try and consider, because it would be nice if all you needed was to pick up the camera and then magically you're getting a bunch of footage. However, the reality of that is once you get the camera, you're sitting on $329 of an item, and depending on your settings and the temperature and the climate and how you're shooting and using it, you're going to get about 20 minutes of footage, and that's about it. And so extra batteries or something you're definitely going to be picking up. Finding a decent helmet mount. I myself went through about 2 different helmet mounts that didn't work out, that I paid for, before the third mount finally worked and allowed me to place the GoPro exactly where I wanted to capture the action the way I wanted to capture it for anybody watching the channel. It's close to like $90 just on mounts, and 2 of them didn't work out. So unless you are specifically getting a helmet and mount that you've already seen a content creator out there use in concert to produce the footage that they're using, sometimes there's no guarantee. Some of the helmets have different flat spots and areas that come to a point that actually make it difficult and dangerous for you to mount your camera or anchor point in that position. Sergio, who's late like always, he had an action camera and he put it on the top of his helmet, German motorcycle rider style, with that spike going up the he had it in that style, and the camera is now living comfortably somewhere in the grass adjacent to I-75 northbound. So some of those things you may not think are the reality of when you're starting to gather your items. If you want to capture unique and quality footage, the mount, accessories, memory cards, those things they add up. So to just be honest with you, don't just think it stops with the camera itself. You'll have to look into a bunch of other accessories. You need to also consider the kind of footage you want to shoot. Are you looking to reap the full benefits of Hypersmooth 2.0, Hypersmooth Boost? I bring that point up simply because if you want it to be part of your content creating repertoire, but you also plan to use it in your personal life for vacation situations, travel vlogs, stuff like that, I think the Hero 8 definitely provides something a little bit better with the smoothness feature. At the same token, if you're more into action situations, or you're one of those dirt bike bros that can do some of the most amazing tricks and stunts, and you hit those pipes or you're on the dirt track and you're kind of doing all those amazing stunts and hitting your jumps and your brakes, the GoPro Hero 8 with the boost on, it really does detract from what your audience is seeing. I have an example of that at the last track day that I was at, that I'm not on a Super Sport or a Panigale, and I'm on a Monster. The rear sets are not in the most advantageous position. So a couple times when reviewing the track footage, I know when I was on the track, my left boot, the toe, touched down a few times, and it immediately, well, for one, it's jarring, and 2, it's almost instinctual that as soon as you touch down and it catches, you kind of come back on the bike, and you decrease the lean angle, which, you're not going to hit the apex as hard as you want now, and it ruins your chance to make up as much time as possible. The left toe touched down, and it was a huge shaking moment, and you definitely bring the bike back up a little bit with less angle. And when rewatching the footage with the Hyper Boost on and everything, you don't notice it. It takes any jarring any immediate change of direction, it takes it out of the footage. So if you're doing any type of action where you'd like to have a little more of a visceral feel, the Hero 8 Black might not be for you. There will probably be better and more economical options for you if you want to have something. I'm not saying you want to do like a shaky cam found footage type of video, but at the same time, that technology for smoothing things out is really, really awesome, and it's potent and it works. And to the point where you're touching down and it never shows up. It's almost imperceptible. You're only able to detect it simply by the fact that you knew it happened. So that's one thing that I think I don't want to overlook and forget to mention. You're filming, you want to vlog, and I think it's great. This whole community supports each other, and there's always some new interesting content to put out. If you have a Hero 6 or 7, honestly, some of the best mechanisms for producing that great footage you want, all of that's happening in post-production. I don't necessarily feel that if you've already gotten a Hero 7 Black that you spent full price on previously and most likely have accessories for, you can really improve the footage and what you're giving your audience a lot more by improving your techniques in post. So that should be something to consider, the $400 investment minimum for the Hero 8. Will bring in a little bit more quality on the camera side of things, but at the same time, if you want to produce some of that amazing content that some other content creators can do, you might want to look into investing more so in post. And in that same vein, you can't overlook audio. And right now, audio capture for the Hero 8 doesn't happen as smoothly with the accessories compared to the Hero 7 Black, which some may already have. They have the ability to strap on that external audio adapter, and there are some instances where you can actually capture the audio and use it from your Sena or Cardo headset, or have a standalone lav mic going right into your GoPro to bypass it and pick up that sweet pure audio. For the Hero 8, last I had checked, the multimedia bracket, that the external housing that goes on the Hero 8, that's not out yet. And so you're going to be also looking into the external lav mic converters and a separate audio recorder. So like I was saying, that for the Hero 8, if you don't mind doing that, then it's clearly not a problem. But if you're already someone who has that set up with your Hero 7 or 6 or any other action camera, one of the Sonys, that is another consideration to make, is if you're using an adapter to capture audio from your device, that's not as easy of a fix with the Hero 8, and you're going to have to look into external recorders. That's kind of the option that we ran into, since we didn't want to wait so long for that housing. Plus, I almost don't want to use the GoPro in that multimedia housing simply because of the extra bulk on the helmet. So for me, it's extra wiring and an extra device to charge and try and maintain when vlogging. So that's also another thing you should consider. So I want to leave you with a few other thoughts. If you got a Hero 7 or 6, I would recommend spending more time in post. I personally have used other action cameras and am using the Hero 8, and I feel like the post-processing secrets kind of make the most in your videos if you want to create content. If you just want to have an amazing action camera for home personal use, and you feel like strapping it on your helmet whenever you ride simply for the function of providing an extra set of eyes should the most terrible thing happen, to document your situation, then by all means, it won't really make a difference to you. But if you're trying to create content, it's my feelings that the post can help you a little bit more, unless you're using really old generations of GoPros in the 4 and 5 range. I would also want to argue that if you already have a 7, some of that, and you're a content creator, some of that really cool content out there, people are starting to use and capture a lot more with the spherical capture cameras, the 360 cameras, and GoPro has that new Hero Max out. So for me, instead of getting a second GoPro to kind of get the profile shot facing back at me when I ride, my mind's already turning and I'm already focused on trying to get my hands on a Hero Max. For me, the only roadblock right now, I would say, is the fact that I am struggling to find a great anchor point and a stick to kind of anchor it out. I've seen Max Wrist out there utilize the amazing intelligence of those engineering students to try and find a solution for him, since he doesn't want to wear the stick, and I gotta say that's a smart decision. I would not want to wear the boom for which the camera is going to be mounted to anyways. However, for me, trying to find a fixation point and a clamp on this monster hasn't been the easiest thing. But stay tuned, because we are going to get that Hero Max. If you already have something providing quality footage, my recommendation, fix it in post and get yourself something that potentially can get you that 360 coverage. Thanks for joining me on this Joyride. We'll be hitting up the gas station here, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.